Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Sweltering temperatures are creeping back into central Texas, and finding some relief from the heat can be as simple as stepping into the shade of Austin's estimated 33 million trees. That's the latest tree count provided by our city. However, the tree canopy is not the same in every corner of Austin. The nation's oldest conservation nonprofit actually provides analysis about the quality of our tree cover in our area through its online tool called the Shade Map. Here to talk more about where our city stands is Benita Hussain from the organization American Forests. Benita, welcome and thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So I want to quickly highlight the Shade Map. I took a look at that, and Austin has a tree equity score of 92. That seems like the city is in pretty good shape by those metrics. So tell us a little bit more about what you see when you look deeper into that.
Sure. So what we have recently launched alongside UCLA Luskin Center of Innovation is a new shade map. And this shade map augments the tree equity score tool that you just named. And what we know is that we needed to map over 100 cities, over 360 cities around the country to see, while we know we have trees and we know we have buildings, how does shade actually map up against our neighborhoods? And our hope is that through this new shade map tool, that local decision makers and communities can say, this is where we need more trees in order to receive those cooling benefits. What's really important is that while Austin does have a great tree equity score at 92%, not all trees are distributed equally across the city. And as such, not everybody receives the same type of cooling or cleansing or shade benefits that trees provide.
You touched on it a few moments ago, but talk to us about what you hope city leaders will take from information that they might glean from this tool.
Sure. So when we look at Austin very specifically, what we know is that Austin sidewalks, when measured throughout the day, get an average of 30 to 60% shade from trees and buildings. And that means for half the day, it's quite sunny. And in a place like Austin, which is seeing more and more extreme heat, which is days over 100 degrees every year, we want cities to say, look at the shade, look at the trees, and we know that they offer cooling benefits. So how do we invest in places that don't have enough trees, don't have enough shade, in order to meet what we see as a public health need across the city?
Yeah, what kind of investment would it take to be able to address some of those areas that might be problem spots that have less tree cover? Is it as simple as just investing and planting more trees in those spots?
It's everything from protecting our current trees in those spots, in addition to certainly planting more trees, and then again, protecting and thinking of these trees as living infrastructure for the long term. And luckily, there are great partners in Austin that are doing the work. Tree Folks, Austin Parks Foundation, the city of Austin, as well as the school districts are all very devoted, because they're using this type of tool, our shade map, as well as our tree equity score tool, to say, these are certain communities or neighborhoods that need more trees. These are where children are being impacted the most. How do we ensure that people are safe and healthy getting to and from school and just living in their own neighborhoods in Austin?
And I want to wrap up our conversation in our final few moments by just talking about the value of shade and what that has in our communities.
Well, what we know is, as I mentioned, the extreme heat issues in Austin are increasing every year. And what we also know is that the shade map is allowing us to see that trees provide 300 times more shade than buildings at midday. And that is a wild statistic, and one that we really need to be thinking about when we think about how we, again, protect our residents across the country and within our cities.
Certainly for something for us to think about, as well as our city leaders. But Benita Hussain with American Forests, thank you again for taking time for us and talking with us today.
Thank you very much.